This is now the moment everyone is searching for. They need the knowledge to survive, and the only source that gives you the energy, the power, the charisma to move to the next level comes from just one man. Yes, look, if you're watching on YouTube right now, punch him up on camera. He is putting on his shades because the intelligence coming from his brain is so smart that we can't even look at it without shades. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Michael J. Morris and his very own podcast, Starstruck.
Starstruck indeed. I can't say enough about me. It'd be hard to say enough about me. I would never pass on the chance to talk about me. That's for sure. I mean, I'm going to go straight from this to the fan. Ooh, I'm going back to the fan today. My gosh, Common Man Dan Cole wants me to come on with him. Cheddar B gave me a little chirp yesterday on my text. I'm heading over there. All people want me all the time, and I can't blame them.
No. The world can't get enough of you.
Well,
they can't. I mean, it was such a mistake by Clear Channel. They did not realize.
It really was.
I mean, Red McCombs, what were you thinking, Red?
Yeah, I have no idea. I really don't know what he was thinking about. And he and I have talked several times on the phone. I want to buy a Humvee from you, Red. You can give me a great buy on a Humvee, right? Why would you go and buy a Humvee when you could just rent one for the weekend? Spoken like a true billionaire, right? Why would you pay something for that when you could rent one and just have fun and then turn it back in, right? Kind of like sending your grandkids home with their parents. You just fill them full of sugar cookies and then send them home, and they bounce off the walls for their parents. But Red was actually a pretty cool guy. When Denny cut me in training camp, Red called me the next day, and he said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, right now, I really don't know what I'm going to do right now. I'm thinking about walking over to the neighbors and seeing if he needs any work done on his hedges or any gardening right now." "Oh, you'll pick up with something. Give me a call if you want to try and do anything, and I'll see what I can do for you." He's a really nice guy. So he's really nice.
He was.
And
he owned our station for a while.
Yes.
And he was always very kind, always, a decent human being. And people go, "Wow, he stripped the franchise down to nothing." He's a car salesman. This is for sale. Absolutely. Why would I invest anything in this? It's not going to increase the value. Who cares?
And I'll liquidate.
I'm not going to buy new cars and put them on my 66 Impala. Okay? It's not going to get me any more money.
That's it.
And so that's why he did it. He was ready to go balls to the walls with his franchise if he got a stadium. Yeah. But he couldn't get it through. The political climate wasn't there.
That's right.
And Red's philosophy was so great. Your Humvee story made me think of this one. I said he came to Fox one time. We were going to do a sit down with him, talk about owning the Vikings, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And I go, "Would you like a water?" And I had it in, a thing of water, right? And he goes, "Oh, for God's sakes, I would never drink out of that." He goes, "I can't believe all these people are that stupid that you could go to the tap, get a glass, and take a drink. Instead, they're paying $1.99 for a bottle of water." He goes, "I'll drink out of a cow tank before I drink out of a plastic bottle."
He's sitting at the breakfast table with me over at Winter Park up at the cafeteria, and he says the same thing. I've got some water in a bottle from one of the refrigerators upstairs, and he goes, "Same thing. Well, I'd rather, before I buy water, I'd rather drink out of a trough." Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. So it was like a point that he made in front of everybody that he wasn't going to do that.
Yes. Well, he just can't believe that people were that's stupid.
Yeah.
And here's a guy who has more money than all of us put together within the 3-block radius of where we're sitting right now.
Yeah. I mean, so if he can't get the stadium, what's he going to do? He's going to liquidate all the stuff and the knickknacks around Winter Park, make as much as he can cleaning up, and spiff it up a little bit. Like you'd take a used car and you'd like wax it and buff it and make it look great. whatever it takes to make it run great and not smoke or anything out of the carburetor, out of the exhaust, and sell it for top dollar, right? Which is what the Vikings were for him. He just spruced it up with a good lineup and some great talent by Jeff Diamond, who, by the way, was executive of the year for putting the team together that went to the
98 team.
And then he fired him. He spent too much money getting all that commitment done. And
Did he really?
He fired Jeff.
Is that really what happened? I did not know what happened there. If it was a disagreement or what.
No, he spent too much and didn't really get it all okayed. He just made moves like he always did around here and got that team assembled, a great talent pool put together. He got fired next year. He was done after that season, and then he went to the Tennessee Titans and won a Super Bowl. He put that together and won like a Super Bowl. He went to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it. They did against the Rams. The Rams beat him.
Yeah,
but he went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And
you're making your point that he knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
Well, he signed you.
Yeah, I mean, of course. And he didn't want to. He didn't. Of course, he did. He didn't want to sign me after the Plan B free agency started. He wanted to dock me back. So I had to go backward because they had to figure out how to do the salary cap, put all that together, get all the players they wanted in here, get all the draft. It was all an educational thing, and they didn't know how to manage the salary cap really until Rob Brzezinski got here. So 4 years later, I'm out of the contract again and ready to go in. He won't do it. I go up to his office. It's at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. He's just in there by himself. I took him a signed football card. I autographed it right on his desk for him, and I said, "Here, the greatest move you ever made," kind of like Tom Brady. Like, "Here, I want you to have this." He laughs. He's laughing. Look, I think we ought to be able to get this thing back up to XYZ dollars. Why would you do that? He said. So I said, "It's fair. How's it fair?" I said, "Because that's what I made that you agreed to 4 years ago. I'm just trying to get back to that." He pulls a contract out of the desk and makes me sign it right there in front of me. He gave it to me. Right there.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, okay. Well, how is it not fair if you thought 4 years ago it was good enough? And here I am all this time later. I'm just trying to get back to that. He was like, "Okay, you're right. You got me in the corner on that one." I was just joking, taking a football card up to him, but I wanted to talk. And that was how far it got. So I called my agent. I said, "You're fired." I said, I got that done. Oh, man. Some of the stuff that happens. All happens right before the football season, the new season, kind of like where we're at right now.
This is it. 4th of July, once it's over, it's on. Yeah. The players are done messing around. Their vacations are in the rearview mirror. Even though you may stray for a day or two, your mind, I'm assuming, is, I'm going to pay for this beverage that I'm about to drink right now in 3 weeks. I got to quit right now.
Yeah, it's no more hops and barleys for sure. And it's camp lip. You got to start buying, as Common Man Dan Cole would say, it's time to get a mustard plaster out. I'm like, what the hell is that? He said, "You ever use a mustard plaster for that lip you got, that swollen lip you got?" Because I used to call it camp lip when you'd walk around with a foul attitude and, like, being in having a foul disposition all day long, or pulling up at the lights at somebody and just kind of like they made you mad and like you're waiting at the lights, so you give them the grief or like turn over and look at them. I said, it's full blown camp lip for like 2 weeks going into that first day of camp. You thought that was funny. You ever use a mustard plaster for that? I said, yeah, I'm going to try that. Hot mustard in a hot towel. I have no idea what that meant or how it works, or if it was some old wives' tale. Anyway, of course, that's common. That's how that goes. So it's that time of year. July 7 is the earliest time I've ever checked into training camp.
July 7th?
July 7th.
The fireworks haven't finished going off yet.
I mean, they're pouring water over the ashes and making sure everything's out, by July 7.
Right.
And I'm
picking up bottle rocket shells from the neighbor's yard that landed in your yard.
Exactly. And so I'm checking into Eastern Illinois University with the St. Louis Cardinals.
That's a lovely time of year there, I bet.
Yeah, not humid or anything.
No.
And like it's any better. Like when you break camp and come back to St. Louis, you're sitting right there on the Mississippi River, right on it with Busch Stadium. I mean, we're practicing out of the Busch Stadium every day and playing every day out of Busch. There's no practice facility out, none. It was the stadium.
Oh,
yeah.
And that was not grass, was it?
No, it was a turf field, and it was.
Oh, where'd the baseball team go?
Same. I
Or is there two? Was there two in St. Louis? Is there a baseball stadium and a football?
No, Busch Stadium. No, I walked in and out of the facility for workouts and for training. The weight room was in there. I'd walk past Ozzie Newsome
But didn't you guys just tear the field to shreds? Or was that artificial turf?
AstroTurf, yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, you're right. You were right. It wasn't grass. Yeah, it was turf, players' turf.
Oh, yeah, it was really players'
hot.
turf.
It was
Cement,
super hot. The heat coming off that, and then the
black
humidity.
rubber, the grass.
That was
Chewed up
before
tires.
that stuff. The chewed up tires actually made it bouncy and actually gave a little bit when I was done. They'd had the recycled tires chopped up and you could see when someone scraped their foot or their toe, the rubber would bounce up out of the turf, right?
Right.
But before it was concrete and an old carpet that just wore out.
Didn't you tell me though when they went to those chewed up tires that you think you ate about a set of radials?
Yeah.
Because you'd get hit, you'd land, you'd breathe in, and all that. Just inhale it, right?
It's even worse than that. It got to that point. That was an upgrade. The tires were an upgrade. They weren't really sure what to do with it. So in Cleveland, when I was at the Browns, they put sand down. Sand in that AstroTurf carpet and watered it and sprinkled it. That was supposed to make it more doable and make the carpet stand up and not lay down and like flatten out. And you're eating sand. You're eating sand and getting it blown up. It kicked up in your eyes. Yeah. I got it on the bottom of the football I'm trying to snap, and when you roll the ball over, it's full of sand. And if it isn't that, it's the baseball infield. If you're sharing like we did with the baseball Cardinals, I mean, you got all that red dog cinder on the bottom of it. Because a brand new football has got, it's tacky. It's got stuff on it. So when you roll it around in the gravel and stuff, it picks all that stuff up. And now you got Harry Newsome screaming at me. What was on that football? He's catching it in the eyes when I spin it back to him. So he's trying to put it down, but he's catching a lot of rock at the same time. But I'm sorry about that, man. I mean, they won't let me touch the football or roll it around too much, so I have to just kind of snap it the way it is. There was still red dog cinder on the ball. They call it red dog. I found that out from the greenskeeper. That's called red dog cinder there. Oh, okay. It's good to know. So that's what my earlier years were like. 8 weeks of training camp with Gene Stallings, 2 a day. I mean 2 times a day. Put the full pads on, go out and use them just the way he had to with Bear Bryant at Texas A&M. He was one of the Junction boys. And so you're getting your rear end kicked like he got his. If I gotta do this and go through this stuff, you guys are too. And I'm thinking, well, good for me. I ran into a Junction boy that thinks it's all good. No water breaks. No water breaks. Not like you can just go over and help yourself to the spigot over there. He has a team break in the middle of practice, and that's it.
At least Fred McCombs had a trough out there for you guys.
Yeah, for all his cattle out there, My God. You had to ask him. If you were that thirsty, you had to go up and ask, and that was embarrassing because then you were the weaker guy had to ask for a drink of water. Are you kidding me? And then people start falling out all over the place and getting dehydrated when we moved the team out to Arizona because it was the same thing and it was hotter. And people are just falling out of practice. And so the trainers finally got him convinced that he should put up these circus tents in the middle of the field where we could at least go get shade for a while and have a drink. So he finally buckled to that when a couple of his favorite players went down. And suddenly it was all good. Stump Mitchell goes down. Neil Lomax is feeling queasy. And now the rest of us get to, that's good.
You weren't one of his favorites?
No. God, no. If you're an offensive lineman, definitely not. Wow, I'm feeling dizzy. I'm dehydrated, I think, Coach. Get back out there and make it happen. Okay. Neil Lomax, man, little queasy. You know what the trainer's saying about taking breaks during practice and just quitting for stopping for 10 or 15 minutes? We're going to do that. Okay. Thank you very much. Anyway, and these guys now, comparing all this that I've been telling you about to what they're doing now, and I haven't seen practice in forever. I don't know what
I'm bringing you out there this year.
Okay.
You're going to come. I'll put a little Fox 9 badge on you, and we'll put a little Cub Reporter tag.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And we'll bring you out there.
God, that would be fun. I haven't done that since the last camp in Mankato. Well, I got videotape of the last camp when he brought the team together and said whatever he said to them after practice was over, and that was it. Boom. They were out of town that night, and that was the end of Mankato. So I got that on film. And Zimmer was really good to me back then. I mean, he would he'd wait for me to come out with a golf cart.
School, right?
He was great.
He appreciated your type of player.
Absolutely.
Your mentality, your approach to the game.
Yeah.
You were what he wanted in a player.
I think so. And he knew me. I have no idea how Mike knew me. I played during those times where he must have been D-line coach or defensive coordinator with Dallas and Cincinnati. I'm sure I was right in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
So he must have remembered.
He knew who you were.
He absolutely did. I came out in a golf cart. I had to be tooled out there on a golf cart because you couldn't just walk around for another radio station. You had to be let out by, you couldn't do that. They have rights to everything. But Mike said, you come on out on the golf cart and I'll tell you anything you want to know. So I go out there and he's just chirping about stuff, about players' technique and why they're getting beat on pass protection and stuff like that. He's telling me the whole thing. Oh, my God, he rocks out of his stance. He's telling me the whole inside. He never tells anyone that kind of stuff, right? Well, he just rocks back. He's just giving them, he's telling them what he's going to do, and that's why he's getting, I think it was Khalil. Pretty sure it was. I remember that. But that's the kind of stuff that I don't think that they have now. I think it's so easy. You might not even get camp lip. I don't think you have to worry about it. I think it might be a vacation away from your wife and kids, and you're just having a great time now. I mean, you just
smoothie bar. You know, they got everything out there. They have the drinks all lined up at the end of practice for them with little umbrellas, and they come over and it's got your number on it too.
No.
Yes. It is concocted with whatever vitamins and minerals they want, electrolytes for that individual person, because a lot of those guys have the chips in them now.
That's right.
Where there's
so
they can sense
monitor
where they're at, and they're like, "Ooh, I'll put this in the computer here. Oh, let's forget. I need a little more electrolytes.
I better throw in some more
whip it up.
Sodium. It's called it's just called drinking water and staying hydrated.
Nope. Here you go, number 68. We've got this all concocted for you. Here you go.
You wouldn't happen to have any vodka there, would you? While you're at it. I mean, I think mine's calling for vodka. I think so. Maybe a little Jameson. I'll be fine. I will be fine if you throw a little Jameson in my electrolytes. Oh, my God. It's all in water. You just drink water, for God's sakes.
Oh, no.
Not
anymore. Nope.
I give up. I truly do. But these guys are, outside of the money, they are being treated really, really well. I mean, they were making you earn your money when I played, and I don't care who you were. You were a quarterback. You're probably getting tagged once or twice in practice, even. I mean, everyone got thumped, and for the money, it was good money back then. I mean, I'm not complaining about anything, but you hit for it. You had to hit for it. I mean, and you had to hang on at training camp. You had to survive training camp and then hope you were like one of the bodies that were still up and running for the season to start. But now, because of that and because of everything that we know happened here with Corey Stringer, things have changed absolutely, 180. Everything's different now. So you can't really afford to hit these guys or play these guys in exhibition games because they're making so much money. They don't want to see, these owners are tired of seeing that one guy or two guys get hurt in a regular day of practice or the first preseason game, and now they're over here sitting on the bench for the season making, a cool $5-6 million. And they're just saying, They're not going to put up with that. That happened early in the beginning.
5 or 6 million. You mean 50 or 60 million
well,
dollars.
If you're the
quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how many preseason games does a player really need in your mind, right? Because we're gravitating towards an 18-game season, which means another preseason game will go away. How do they get these players ready?
You need at the very least, at least for me and what I thought I was doing before I was comfortable and I thought I'd worked all the bugs out. And this is when, like the rookies got to play in the first game more so than anyone. Now, you'd get one series of plays if you were a starting football player on both sides of the ball. They'd take you out the rest of the game. And then each game after that, they'd add a quarter to the older guys until by the end of preseason, which was, it could be 4 or 5 games, you're looking at you'll start the beginning of the fourth quarter and come out after that series, and the rookies have got one more chance to make the team. That was the mentality. You guys are knocking rust off and getting the lather up for a regular season game now in a week. We want to know what's going on. Is this how you're playing, or is that how you're playing? And what fans are getting now is a reduced, hitting in training camp. They're not used to their pads. They don't play in many preseason games or any at all if you're the starter. And I've said it over and over and over again. You get sloppy football for the first 2 to 3 weeks of the regular season before they start actually playing well. And then you see the teams come on that are going to play well coached. And I think you need 3 or 4. I think you need 3 or 4 games. I just do. And I know the guys that I played with, the starting offensive linemen, didn't have any issues with getting to play a little extra and finally starting to feel the coordination up front and the choreography with the offensive linemen. That's a big deal. And if they don't think it is, then they're just trying to save money. And that's what they're doing. But I don't think the fans are watching the real team play until about week 4. That's the way I see it. Maybe I'm wrong. You see a lot of people start off really rocky and then take hold, and they finish the season out pretty good. And I think it's just a lack of repetition in real practice, live rounds, full pads. It only times out when you're in full pads. A hole opens and it shuts immediately. But if you don't get that when you're just bouncing around in short gear, you don't have that. Like, it's going to be there if the guard pulls, kicks out, and you double team back, and the hole is there, and he either hits it full speed when it's there, or he's too late, or he doesn't follow his blocks because none have been thrown. I mean, no one sees that or knows what that is. If in today's game, you have to play, and they are only doing that by week 3 or 4.
Well, maybe when we get to the 18-game schedule, every single Sunday is not as critical. Because now the playoffs are expanded. There's more slots to get in. And if everybody is sloppy in the first couple of weeks, you have time to salvage your season. You remember the old cliche or the old stat that's thrown out every time a team starts 0-2. Oh, 82% of the teams that start out 0-2 don't make the playoffs. Yeah. But that, I think, is changing now. Because of the extra game we have now, soon to be games, there's more room for error.
And what do you think? What are your feelings on that? What do you think is going to happen if they expand and make it? We're not in trouble yet. We have that extra game, so we're not in trouble. That attitude, that mindset leads to one thing. I think that in my books, if they don't each and every one count, like for everything toward winning your division, qualifying somehow for the playoffs, and then surviving the playoffs until the big game, then I think it's lay back, wait until the fourth quarter and make a like basketball, like the NBA.
Yeah.
You have so many games, it's like, I don't know if we're playing tonight. I don't know if we're going to play. We'll just do what we can.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can. If it's close to the fourth, we're coming and getting you.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, that's the mindset. That's that passive, we'll be okay. We'll be all right.
And that's not what football's attitude or approach is.
So if you have an extra game or 2 and we're trying to let off on you guys and we want you to have a good run in the playoffs, back off you guys a little bit, play somebody else, and then we'll start our horses in the playoffs. Then it just becomes this festering attitude of, we're kind of off the hook there too. We're already not practicing. We already don't play any preseason games. Now they're telling us don't worry about it. We've got a little.
Well, I don't think
leeway.
I don't think it will be verbalized to the players that way, but they'll know it.
It'll be
they'll
in their
know.
heads. Yeah,
We're
not hurt. Yeah, we're not hurt yet. Like you said, like 2 or 3 games in, if you've already squandered 3 games, they would just say, hard to dig yourself out of this hole. It's really hard to dig out when you get this way at the beginning of the season. You'll never 82% don't make it to the play. It's the same thing. And now you're telling them it's okay if you slip up once or twice. I don't know about that. Or let them just come to that conclusion themselves. We've got more games, so we can fumble it once, twice. Instead of being real about it, Marty Schottenheimer used to say it the best. It's just the way of the league that the best teams in this league will win 3 or 4 games, and it just happens where you'll lose one and not play well. But good teams always find a way to get back on and win 3 more, 4 more, and lose a game. At the end of the season, you're ending up at about 12-4. The good teams. That's what happens. You stagger losses because you just don't put a good game plan together, or someone doesn't play well, or turnovers, whatever the case. But the good teams always find a way to win about 12 and get in the playoffs. That's kind of how it works. But you don't want people to think, well, we got 4 games we can horse around with. You don't ever think that, because you're trying to win the division. You're really ultimately trying to win the conference to draw the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But that's the leverage that keeps players playing hard every week, every single week, is to try to win the conference, to win the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That's almost everything. It doesn't work out all the time. Don't I know it?
You're doing a project. You don't want to go to some store and go, you know what, this place will work. You know, they got some rusty nails there. I'll go there. The hammers are,
we got galvanized nails where I'm going lately. I've been going to a place, 4 places. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. So if you want to get galvanized nails or galvanize your cleats so you have the best cleats going in the business, I'm sure they have them. You can always walk down there, and I'll tell you, you don't have to walk either. I'll tell you later about how to get down there. But anyway, these people will take good care of you. They're in Zumbrota, they're in Farmington, Rosemount, and Egan. And these people I'm talking about, the ones that are the helpful hardware people, the Policis family own 4 Ace Hardware stores. So get down there. It's the paint. It's the power tools. Clark Kensington, Benjamin Moore for paint. Match it up. They've got the technology to match it up. Or you can go with the select 20-volt DeWalt's at $30 discounts and $20 discounts for the 20-volt select Craftsman tools. Do it that way, and then you won't mess things up. You won't fumble the ball. And if you want to get down there, you don't have to walk. You can go straight to Dodge of Burnsville, like I've been telling you for years, and just walk in after you've passed all the places that don't matter at all. Other car dealerships don't even matter. I'm just saving you all the bother by just telling you that Dodge of Burnsville is the only place you need to stop off. You can make a trade there. You can walk in and just say, look, I want a car, I want a truck, I'm going to buy it outright. Or trade your vehicle in, and they'll take good care of you, and you can go car or truck, new, used, great service department, and great people. Adam Saba, Mark Saba. I'm trying to get Adam to come in and do the podcast. He will for sure, but those are the guys to talk to. And both places, Ace Hardware, Policis Ace Hardware, and Dodge of Burnsville, tell them the superstar Mike Morris sent you. Do it, or else. I think that's about all the time I've got. I'm all talked out. So I think that for Jim Rich, the great one, or the dean, as Bob Sansevier would say, the dean of all media, Jim Rich, I am the superstar Mike Morris, crack archivist Brady Muller, who has all of the microphones working well today. Thank God, because he was going to get taped up. I had just enough camp lip in me that I would have taped him up today. But it didn't happen. Everything works, so you guys can just sit tight and hang on. There's going to be a Jim Bob Sports Jamboree up next. We're out of here. Bye.